Hello YouTube! You haven't seen me for a while. This is actually the first video of 2023. I want to explain myself a little bit there. It's only good news. Actually, I haven't been sick or anything or fed up with YouTube or anything like that. I just have had a lot of stuff to do and none of it have been worthy of a video, in my opinion. So, in the beginning of this year, 2023, my neighbor, who had lived here for 23 years, I have lived here just 15 years I think, she came over and asked me if I wanted to buy her place. She wanted to move down to the village, a little bit closer to the stores and everything and other people. This is a little bit on the far side of the village. So she just asked me if I wanted to buy it, and yes I did. So I asked the local bank if I can get a loan, and here I am, homestead owner. But with that came a lot of work. She haven't had the opportunity to fix everything here. So it's been a lot of work now in the beginning at least. And I've been doing other stuff too, so not film worthy though. So I haven't done any videos, but as I said, it's all good news why I haven't done it. So, but I think this, I'm going to film this one at least. So the old wheel loader, you've seen it before, it's nothing new with that one. I'm going to fix 3 things on it. Maybe 2, we'll see how long this video drags out. So the first one is electrical, the other one is fuel, and the third one is mechanical linkage. So let's get started with the electrical first, so I can start the thing. That's the main, start up the thing. So let's get at it. So here I am again. This is a voiceover for this video as I have edited it. I don't think I will run any soundtrack music on this video, but it's 1 hour and 20 minutes long, so it became a lot more video than I initially thought when I started this project this summer. So I will jump in with explain stuff as we go instead. This one and try that version on. So I have added up the video into 3 parts. You can see a little bit down below here on YouTube. You can click if it's anything interesting you want to see, just according to fixing this tractor. So the first off, what we are watching now is fixing the starter on this thing. The second one is fixing the injection pump, resealing it. And the third one, the big one, is picking the back axle off and fixing the linkage to that one because it was super sloppy. So you can use the links below to jump between, because as I said, this video is super long, so I don't think you will manage to watch it for, I think it was 1.5 hour long or something. So this starter, the brand is Urex. I never heard of it. I toasted the starter when I got it, and it was a Bush starter, a real one. And I just found this one, like, I think it was like 300 euros. It's brand spanking new. And I threw away the old Bush and just mounted this one. And after like half a year, the starter started. The starter started acting up. And when I look inside of it, it looked like it's been on the ocean floor for like as long as Titanic. It was rusted through. So something was up with the manufacturing of this one, because there were no rust proof at all. If you look at the collector up here on in the picture, it's super crusty. So actually I found a supplier that sold the parts for it, so that was good. So I'm going to mount a complete set here with both the coils for the collector and the holder for the coils. I did have the stop wire out when I tested that. I wasn't planning on starting it because now we're off to taking off the injection pump. And you might wonder, why didn't I pick up pick off this fender when I changed the starter. But I didn't think that far ahead, I imagine. Or maybe I wasn't sure if I would do both work on the same day. Fix both the injection pump and the starter. So here I am, picking off the fender now instead. This was damn dirty. The whole problem here, why I'm doing this, is the starter is not working, but it dilutes the oil. Something dilutes the oil, so I get too much oil on the stick. And I didn't think it was the hydraulic oil that got in there, and it certainly wasn't the coolant, because it looked like oil. And it was so very fluent, so I imagined that it was diesel, even though it didn't smell like diesel. So and there are also two ways the diesel can get into the engine too. The lift pump on the other side could be the culprit too. So I took a gamble here and just fixed the injection pump instead. So here it comes out. Here you can see the pump. I have already cleaned it in an ultrasonic cleaner on the outside, so I don't get too much nasty stuff into the pump. So we will take this one apart now and clean it again, but hopefully don't get as much in the internals by doing this. Look at those lovely welds down in the corner. Oh man, they don't look... Yeah, I'm guessing that I didn't have a welding helmet doing that and just held my hand over and weld it with feeling, and my feeling is not top notch there. I must say, these pumps are remarkably easier to handle than a Bosch P-pump. I would almost dare to say that you can't get it wrong. The pump side, this one I just took off. There is a lot of parts there, and there is a schematic, a cross section of that one, and I do need that one to get these things right. But besides that one, everything else like they go together, and they can only go together in one way. So if you just put it together and snug every screw and everything, and keep on spinning the pump to see that you actually that it doesn't lock up, then you're golden. They are fairly easy internal parts on this one, at least compared to the bush pumps, P pumps I've done before. There's a lot of calibration and stuff there, and these ones, yeah, not so much. With that said, I did take a lot of photos, and I looked at the cross-section schematics on this pump nevertheless, but there are no like surprises or aha moments around it. Vet man inte. Hur man löst den. So this seal here that I'm about to take out is probably the culprit to the diesel fuel getting into the crankcase. The whole assembly here is pressurized, not by much, but it is pressurized on this side too. So I think that gasket went out and poured diesel into the crankcase of the engine, and I could just have settled for changing that seal alone, but I did buy a full gasket seal kit, and I thought to myself, I could be wrong, so I changed all the gaskets when I was at it. Now I'm picking all the parts together to bring it to the ultrasonic cleaner at work before changing out the gaskets. So, and here we are back again. So all the parts nice and clean again, so I see that the paint has almost disintegrated all of it, so that's a good thing. The thing you can see in the back end here is the metering valve, and it's actuated in the front there with the flap with 3 holes in it, and the spring there makes even if I put it in full throttle and it can't give anymore, the spring you see on the string here makes it so it won't bottom out and get destroyed. You're damn more stronger in the feet on the gas pedal than this internal things is, so it's a thing that helps. And it's also regulating the other end also got a spring, and that regulates the idle speed on this one. And you can see the L-shaped thing on the end here, that's a stop lever, and it overrides all the stuff I just mentioned. So let's say it sticks in halfway throttle or full throttle for that matter, then if you pull the stop lever, you can actuate the stop of fuel going through on the metering valve here, and it works whatever situation. If it's an idle or full throttle, you still can pull the stop lever and make the engine stop. So it's a safety feature that this one overrides everything. And let's see, there's the spring that regulates the idle speed. And to be honest, I didn't make this one work all the way properly because it's sometimes a little bit high on the idle and sometimes a little bit low, so I have to adjust that on the hand lever for idle speed inside the cabin. And yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. I thought this one would fix that problem too, but it didn't. It's the same as before, so I don't really know what that is about. Here I'm feeling in. You can't get it on camera, but you can see the stop lever and the gas, what do you call it, RPM, the gas pedal lever is in the other end, and I could feel that if I put the stop lever max in one direction, I can feel the gas pedal different spring tension on that one. So that was, so I knew it was correctly installed there, just to feel around. And this video was way too long as it is. I jumped the fuel pump thing here on the back end. And here I'm filling it up with diesel just to run it around. Now you can really see the bad weld on the stand there. It's terrible. It's all the way outside where it should be. And it's super cold. Cold weld too. Yeah, that's a bit embarrassing to get that on camera. Anyhow, now we're filling up the injection pump with diesel, so I don't have to do it on the tractor. And it's also, I can see if the stop lever actually stops the fuel from coming out. So I think it's on full throttle. No, it's not on full throttle here. But anyhow, it's on the on position. There, now I try it on full throttle. I can see diesel coming out. Now I'm trying it again with the stop lever on to see if it's really stopping the diesel. And it does. Kind of hard to see, but it works. So now it's all about just mounting it. I haven't showed anything about the injection piping between the pump and the engine block head. But I took those out too and cleaned them out internally. And I put them through the ultrasonic cleaner while I was at it. Another thing that was a little bit nerve-wracking here, I didn't have any torque chart for the injection pump where it engaged to the cam drive. Those 3 bolts, and I just went with the chart of the universal torque you should use, and I think it was a fine thread M10 or something, and it should be, I am not sure, but I think I put it at 22 Newton meters. And if you can see how much force I'm putting into it, it's yeah, that's kind of nerve-wracking. It felt like it's a little bit over the top in torque, but I didn't have anything else to go on, and I certainly don't want to pull in too little either. But it felt like it's a little bit on the top, over the top, 22 Newton meters, if that was the number. Here I'm bleeding the system, and I think on camera this will seem effortless, and it was oh man, I think I already here I can see I'm charging the battery with the C-Tech charger, and it was a nightmare to bleed this one. The trick is, I think the trick is, you have to bleed all 4 cylinders at the same time. On a normal Bush or whatever manufacturing P-pump, you can bleed one at a time. Oh, now it's running. But on this one, it seems like you have to bleed all four at the same time, and you have to close them at the same time as you're running the starter. And that's kind of hard to manage all of that at the same time, compared to doing one injector at a time. So yeah, it was a nightmare, but now it's done. And I did have problems with during the winter. It stalled on me twice, not twice different years, 2 times there. I did think it was the diesel that clogged up, because it was super cold outside both the times. But looking back now, I think this seal I changed in front end probably leaked through so much diesel when it was cold, so it lost pressure inside the pump and stopped working. Because I did have to bleed them those time too, and believe me, bleeding this thing in 30 minutes Celsius, it's a nightmare. I'm freezing just thinking about it. Hopefully it will never happen again now. Open the bleeding torch a little bit just to check if there's any bubbles left, but I don't think it was anything. No. You can bleed both the body of the injection pump and the top gun. So I think it's time for a test ride here. I'm not sure. Or if I'm just cleaning. No, it's a test ride. It's a really nice machine. It's perfect size for everything. I really like this one. It looks like I'm just running forward and backing up again, but I actually stopped and changed the oil because it was so diluted with probably diesel. So on to the next work piece. I have changed shirt, so it's not the same, pants too, so it's not the same day, but it's in the same video. And as I said, this video became way too long. It should be 2 videos at least, but I didn't film any intro to this one, so, and it is the same, I think it's just the next day, so it's not movie magic in that concern, but I should made it into 2 videos. Here's the prop shaft for the engine to the back end, and I'm checking for play here. This one, they tend to go bad on these machines as far as I understand, and you can't buy them, so it's a bummer when they go out, because you have to fiddle something together yourself or buy something to make it work. This was a little bit dangerous, but you just have to be ready to just step away if they start to fall over too much, so you don't get trapped under it. They are heavier than they look. Lots of rubber in them. I don't know what's up here. Oh, I have tilted up the back end, and I'm starting to make a floor. Since I'm working on the dirt here, I won't be able to move the back axle properly, so I'm just rounding up some old 2x4s, 2x4 inches wood planks, just to get something to drag it along on. So now it's time to just lowering. Oh no, just picking up. It's bolted in, what is it, 16 bolts I think. 8 bolts, 4 on each side. So here I'm just dragging it all out. I think it was that the play in this one was terrible, and I did film it, but I don't think I edited in how how bad it was. We are going to see real soon here. I did rattle it around, and the plate is like almost a centimeter across. It was really bad, and someone had already fixed this one before. Oh, now I'm taking off all the gunk. Hopefully this one won't come back now with the seal, the pump fixed, because due to its I don't know if you looked through the whole video here, but the middle video here when I'm fixing the pump, I think it's the diesel leaked into the crankcase and diluted the oil, and then the oil, it was too much oil in the crankcase and it started pouring out through different gaskets, but mainly the crankshaft seal. And I think that's a bit of all this grease you see. It's a lot of diesel and fuel leaked out and clogged up with grease and stuff here. I'm going to see here. I'm going to show how much play it is. And actually someone had already done this job on this tractor wheel loader once, at least in its lifetime. I did see signs of people have been here before. There was an arrow on one of these plates I'm taking off now, on which direction it would go back and such. So someone, and it also was some bushings here I don't think belong here. So we are going to see. But I did not rattle it around, so you can see a little bit here on the play. It was a rather terrible play. I don't think that bushing should be there at all. I am going to use a bushing again, but that's for different reasons, and I am going to use a bushing that actually holds grease with the slots in it. This one did not have that. And a press fit. This might have had a press fit at one point, but now it was just loose inside there. So understandably, these ones were very torqued down, and I didn't even manage to break them loose by hand. So the Milwaukee came in handy here. I did have to, maybe that one, I did have to pick out the gas and warm up some of these too to break them loose. Easy there. Don't want to get it on my feet. I did not manage to lift this one, maybe barely, but it's super heavy. Let's see now. I couldn't lift that. I think I lifted it onto the pickup, but it was I think I leaned it against the back end of it or something. So now we're back with some more pallets, and I think I have cleaned up the top end of the rear axle here. We'll see in a minute. Yeah, they are cleaned up. The lettering on the underside on this one was an arrow and the letters AV, and I think this one wheel loader was manufactured in Sweden, but I think this one was sold new to France, because a lot of the warning stickers inside the cabin are in French. So probably it started its life well in Sweden, but it was exported to France, and when it was cheap enough, and the market, maybe it's not the same for Volvo in France, someone just exported it back to Sweden again. That's my guess, at least. So here I am preparing it for line boring. I don't want to risk of getting any chip or anything on this chrome rod here. It's supposed to run smoothly. These bearings you see, and I could guess a little nick or anything on it could cause problems. So I am a bit careful about this one. The same thing when I'm welding around it. You'll see here I try to protect it as much as I can, and I oil it in. The splatter from the welds don't stick to if you oil in these kind of shafts. And I did go a little bit overboard here and used 4 clamps to hold it down. I can only use 2 at a time, but I did prepare on both ends for this type on the other end too. So yeah, prepared it like that. Yeah, here I'm a bit worried that I don't have enough oil on the shaft. Here I'm just heating up, since it's such a big piece, and I do want to get good penetration from the get-go, since this part here, the part that's going to be left after I grind it all down again, is the first weld. Maybe, let's say I put down 3 weld strings on top of each other. Most probably just the first one will be left there, and if that one is a cold, not very good weld, it's a bummer. So it's a good idea to heat up before. And I did have a lot of trouble with this one. I don't remember, I think I made this one 44 millimeters, and the shaft is 40 to begin with. So I just got 2 millimeters to play with here, and therefore I had to grind out a lot of material, and it was a lot of work, which I didn't film because it's not interesting. And the charge from the small metal charge that I get from that kind of, I pick it out with my fingers days later. It's super sharp and annoying. Now this will, by the editing magic, this looks like, oh, it's a 1 hour job. In reality, I think just this piece is 2 days work, like 16 hours just to grind the front and back end of this one. But I don't have any better idea how to do it, so it is what it is. It's super time consuming. You got a lot of time to think, so a podcast in your ear might help here. Something to pass the time. I do activate the drilling machine by foot. You see a pedal down there, and that it's just an on-off switch. And for safety reasons, I always unplug the mains power to this one as soon as I'm there with my fingers to do anything. But there's the new bushings that I'm going to press in. So these are, I don't remember if they are bronze. I think they are bronze, and they do have the pattern on the inside to keep grease and stuff inside of it. So now I'm pleased with this part, and I don't think I did do the other two on the other end too, and I don't think I filmed it, and it was so close on the other part. This one was really run down, almost a centimeter, so it was crazy bad on that one, and the other ones were okay, and I still welded it and fixed it, and I should just have let it be. Oh, now I'm doing the other end. You see the plate there, that's copper with the clamps. The weld, it's copper leads the energy from the welder across, but the weld won't stick to copper, so it's a perfect thing to have on the other side to get a nice weld bead towards the other end there. That was a bit of a jump, but as I said, it's the same routine on both ends. But it took a hell of a lot of time to. It's not like when you do something in the lathe and just knock it off in like 10 seconds. But it's a nifty little machine. I like it. Then here's some yellow paint. First coat. And as I said, those two upper parts you see here, I did the same fix on those two and took them down, because I think they were like 0.5 millimeter off on one direction and was good in the other, so a little bit too much work for what it was worth. I should just have let them be as they were. That's a damn good fit, I must say, if I can say it myself. It shaved a little bit off, but rather that than they would be too sloppy. So that was a good fit. And here you can see I actually bought new pins for this, but I'm retrofitting the old pins, which do have some damage to them, and that's because I started to doubt myself what the alignment would be, because I did those two upper, I did those separately, and I should have just welded it to a table or something with the right dimensions to fit the chassis of the wheel loader. Kind of hard to explain, but I did them once at a time. I should have mocked them up with the right distance and triangular, and I didn't, and therefore I didn't dare to use new pins too, because then it would be so exact everything. So if it would be thrown off just half centimeter on the upper ends, I would never be able to get it back on the wheel loader. So I just reused the old pins to get a little bit of play, and we're talking like millimeter on the ends. So super little, but still it's a bit annoying to reuse old stuff, and even when I bought new ones. We are going to see here if you can see how sloppy it was when I was finished. And I think that was a good call. I think it would be too stiff. Everything would be too stiff, and if I missed anyhow, just by a smidge, they would be super hard to get it back on the wheel loader. Now let's see. Now you can see it's like no play at all, even though the pins are the old ones. And they did have, I can see I have put them in the freezer. They are white to accommodate a little bit more. I'm going to see if I'm going to test this one to see how sloppy it is. Yeah, now that's... And here I'm checking that thing I'm talking about, that I was worried about. I think I'm confident that it's straight with this set of pins at least. Yeah, always check what you got on the back side of yourself when you're pulling like this, so you don't knock yourself unconscious, or even worse, on some very sharp edge or something, mess up your back. So now I'm just pulling it all back into the machine again. Same as taking it apart, but the other way around. here I'm trying just to get some other kind of video of me working. I'm trying again with a GoPro in my head, and I don't know why I bother with this anymore, because it always ends up either filming not where I'm looking, or it starts filming sideways. The GoPro somehow how auto adjust the direction I'm filming, so all of the sudden it's halfway on the screen when I'm editing, and I have to like rotate it back and scale it to fit the screen. It's super annoying. And as I said, I rarely ever get to film what I'm doing anyhow, because in these tight spaces it always ends up me filming something else, like the bottom end of the wheel loader, not the prop shaft I'm installing. So rather annoying. So this is probably the only few seconds me working that actually got something worth filming. So I edited that one in with some swearing, if I remember correctly. Jag är för gammal för det här skiten. So now it's just the cleanup. I think I'm about to get the wheel back on here and test drive it. Side note, while this is filming here, it became super, not annoying, but it was the other way around. After I fixed this back end and I test drove it, it felt like the back end was loose, because if you see on the other parts of this video, I got the forks on this one mounted while testing, and the forks are 2 meters long, and I already fixed the waist, and I fixed the steering, hydraulics and everything, so there's no slop anywhere on this machine now, and now there is no slop in the rear end either. So just the smallest smidge of bumpy road or anything, those forks go back and forth a little bit, and I can feel it in the back end of the wheel loader. It plants all the way through now, and I'm guessing before the back end could move like half a centimeter in sideways too, and it was an uphill on both. It's a circular hole here, so it's a little bit of an uphill to break it, put some brake in the movement. So I think that's what I'm feeling, and yeah, it's rather annoying fixing this and ending up with a feeling that the back end is like super weird, but I guess it's something just to get used to. The side walls on the back wheels are much more sturdier than on the front wheels, so maybe that's contributing too. Anywho, I see this video is coming to an end here, at least for me commenting. So let me know in the comments, the few of you who actually watches a video that's over an hour long, if you prefer me speaking about what I'm doing, even though I'm struggling with my English and everything, or you prefer just the music, I cue in the music, or even so, super quiet, but 1.5 hours of nothing. So here comes the test drive. So there you have it. I think this work about a month. I've been not all the time and everything. Just that's and the other work do. It's I do have a job on the side, 8 hours a day. So, but roughly a month, taking this one apart and putting it together, both the injection pump, starter, and the rear end. Money-wise, I don't remember the rebuild kit for the injection pump, but it's not that expensive. I think maybe 50 euros for the kit. And the starter brand is a Urex, and I don't remember what the brushes cost, but I don't think it was that much money to begin with that one either. And the back end, gas, welding rod, those bushings you saw, those were like, I think they were like 100 euros together, both bushings. So it's not much money to do this work. It's just a lot of time and effort into it. I don't think I'm going to do anything more this year. Not planned anyhow. I do have an excavator that needs attention to the boom, the knuckle. It's a little bit rough there, and I have an idea about the tractor. I should maybe put together as an extra tractor, a little smaller one for the narrower spaces on this farm. But maybe not any more videos this year. I don't promise anything anyhow. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.